Well, guys, this is our team, and it's it's not great right now. But I think this is our team right now, and it's a weird feeling, and it's hard to know what direction to even take when you're talking about this team. So, Seahawks lose 9-3. We were outscored by the Mariners. They scored 7 runs today, and we have a team that has scored 15 points through the first 2 games of the season. Today we watched Miami's defense, which destroyed our offense, get completely bashed on by the Patriots with their backup quarterback. And we saw this Rams team basically get gashed by the 49ers last week. So right now, what you can say is that this offense is maybe the worst offense in football. And that is really a weird thing to say without completely flipping your shit, because this offense has a $90 million quarterback. It's got a $40 million wide receiver. It's got a tight end who is a $40 million tight end, but that's a weird situation with him because he's just coming back from the injury. And despite that, this is not an expansion team. This is not the Houston Texans with David Carr that first season where they had no offensive line and everyone knew they were just going to get killed every week because they were an expansion team and it wasn't fair. This team has been putting this offense together for several years now. And it should be strange that they're playing this badly, but on the one hand, it's actually kind of not. Um, if you've been watching this team ever since Russell Wilson got here, this is the game that we play several times a year, every year without fail. It's that game where the offense struggles the whole game, the defense fights tooth and nail to keep the team in the game, and then whatever happens in the last 3 minutes decides the winner. I can go all the way back to the Super Bowl season. That happened multiple times. Last year, 2 years ago, and now this year twice. It's just that game where the offense can't do anything, but the defense somehow keeps them in it. And then at the end, it's either on Russell Wilson to put together a game-winning drive, or it's on the defense to get the last-second stop. And those first 57 minutes don't even matter. It's just those last two even, and that decides who's going to win. So I'm used to seeing this game, so I don't want to panic because I've seen this offense play very badly the last few seasons, and they come back, they play better as the season goes along. They get better, they round into shape in time for the games that really mean something in November and December. But I have to say that this team, this is different. This was 3 points. I just sat there for 3 hours and watched my offense play a defense that isn't even that good. I mean, this team defense let Blaine Gabbert and Carlos Hyde do whatever the fuck they wanted last week. So I'm not going to sit here and say the Rams have some world beater defense. Maybe they match up well with this offense, but I cannot sit here and watch this offense play this poorly and say everything is going to be fine. This is worse than the stuff we were seeing last year. Last year, the offense struggled in many games, but they were never as bad as they were today. And that leaves me wondering where this is going, because this defense is A plus level right now. 2 games, they've been there's very little to complain about. I'll get to the defense later because those guys are doing everything they can, and to ask any more of them is bordering on unfair. So this offense, I mean, this offense does not have any excuse for what is going on right now. This team has been getting put together for a while. This is not a rebuilding year where we blew everything up last year and we're just like, okay, let's bring in whoever we can find. Let's see who can play. And if they can't play, we're going to lose. But that's okay because we weren't going to be good anyway. No, that's not what this is supposed to be. So it's tough to know who to put the blame on. I don't know who to blame. I'll say a couple things that right now, more than ever, I mean, over the last few seasons, it's been bad. But more than ever right now, we have to take a good look at this front office, this coach, these decision makers chose to who chose to skimp on the offensive line, spend, basically nothing on this team, on this offensive line. They let Russell Okung go, although I understand that. They let J.R. Sweezy go, which I understand too. And then they replaced them with the likes of Bradley Sowell, and I'll get to that motherfucker in a second here. They replaced him with the likes of Mark Lewinsky, who's been completely average so far at best. And right now, that is absolutely killing this team. And I have put a lot of trust in this front office. I think they've made a lot of great decisions. They brought in some really good players. I like what I see from their draft picks. I like what I see from the guys they bring in. But that part of the team got completely ignored. It was willfully ignored. We told ourselves we can win anyway. We can find guys who are cheap that can play well. Right now, that's not happening. That's not even close to happening. So that part of it has me worried for the rest of the season. The bright side to all this is that this offense is dealing with a lot of crap right now. Russell Wilson is playing injured, and I thought he played pretty good today, but he missed a couple throws and he missed a couple opportunities to make plays that I believe he makes if he's healthy. So that's holding the offense back a little bit. That'll be better in a couple weeks. Jimmy Graham is coming back from an injury. He's close to getting all the way back, but he's not there yet. Thomas Rawls got hurt today. We'll see if that ends up being serious or not. CJ Prosise has the broken bone in his hand, so that's our third down back we don't have. Nick Vanette got hurt. Jermaine Ifedi got hurt. Webb played injured today. It's going to get better, but is better going to be, how much better, and is that better going to be enough to take this team where it can be? Because I'm telling you, Bradley Sowell, and I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, I don't really care because that's how bad he has been over the first 2 weeks. First of all, he is false starting on every play. If you watch him, he is false starting every play, and I think the referees just got tired of calling it, so they're just letting him do it. But there's going to come a moment where he does that, and they actually call it, and it's going to be a drive killer or a play killer or whatever have you. So you got to figure that out. And second of all, even though you're false starting every play and they're letting you get away with it, you still suck. I mean, my God, I thought injured Russell Okung was playing lackluster at the left tackle. I thought Alvin Bailey was a bad left tackle, but oh my God, this guy today just stands there and watches Robert Quinn run around him, stands there and watches William Hayes run around him. And that's the left tackle who's supposed to be there all season. He won the job. He beat out Gary Gilliam, and Gary Gilliam moved back to the right side. Gilliam looks okay over there. Gilliam looks okay on the right side. How did Bradley Sowell beat him out? I don't see nothing from that guy. Nothing. He was the guy who pissed me off more than anything else in this game. Bradley Sowell, get right or get out of the NFL, because today I saw a player who does not belong in the NFL. You were committing a penalty almost every offensive play. You still sucked. Jamarcus Webb, I'm not even going to bother getting mad at Jamarcus Webb. He's horrible, but he's the backup. He's supposed to suck, whatever. Please get back this week, Jermaine Ifedi. At least you have a chance to be good. Freaking dog. What else? Other than that, I mean, I think everything else on this team has a chance to get better. But those two spots on the offensive line, I'm really concerned about. Bradley Sowell, he's supposed to be the guy. There's nobody who's coming in who's going to replace him that's better. I don't even know who it would be. But I'm having a very hard time right now with the fact that this team, this offseason, took a look at the left tackle situation on this team and went, yeah, Bradley Sowell, that's fine. He's good. He's good enough. Because I don't think you can play any worse than he did over the first 2 weeks of this season. Doug Baldwin got hurt today. He came out for a bit and came back in and played hurt. Tyler Lockett got hurt, came back in, was playing hurt, actually had a big catch at the end that almost won it. I'm not going to get on those. I can't get on those guys. Those guys are going to be better than they were today. Um, Kristen Michael was our best player on offense today, so I'm not going to kill him for the fumble. It sucked. You got to hold on to that ball. There's no excuse for fumbling there, but that's a demon that has followed him around for most of his career, is the reputation that he fumbles. So to fumble in that spot is really bad for him, but he was our best player on offense, so, which is not saying much, but it is what it is. He messed up. Fix it. Um, Again, defense played out of their mind. They did not control the game like I wanted, but you cannot ask for anything more from this defense. For us to ask any more of this defense is basically saying they have to win the game for us because our offense is that bad, which right now is true, and that's a problem. We cannot go to our defense and say, you guys need to be perfect because our offense is crap. That's not how it works in the NFL. But for my money, defensively, Frank Clark played out of his mind. Michael Bennett was great. Richard Sherman did his thing. I love Jerron Reed. I love Tony McDaniel. About the worst I can say is Deshaun Shedd got beat up a little bit in the secondary, but that's going to happen from time to time. It's not like he got killed for any huge plays. He just gave up a few here and there. Mike Morgan got burned on a tight end route on the Rams' second scoring drive, but he's the worst player on our defense. He's going to mess up from here every now and then. We have to be willing to deal with that. He's not a great player. So I can't really call anybody out there. There is one guy who really pissed me off in this game with one play that I am going to point out here specifically. Paul Richardson. You are not even the kick returner on this team. You came in there because Tyler Lockett was hurt. You are not even the starting kick returner on this team. You catch a kickoff 8 yards deep in the end zone, and you take it out with 2 minutes left in the half. Not even, less than 2 minutes. You get tackled at the 13-yard line. You waste 5 seconds to lose 12 yards. That had me losing my mind because we drove down, we got at about the Rams' 40-yard line, and we can't kick a field goal. We got 9 seconds left. It's hard to run a play. We tried to run a play. It didn't work out, so we don't get anything. And I'm sitting there thinking, 5 extra seconds and 12 extra yards would have been really freaking nice to have right now. It would have been nice if you had just done what a smart player would have done and taken a knee. This team on offense is not good enough right now to play stupid and win. And today, I have to call out Paul Richardson, who I like. I hope he comes back from his devastating knee injuries and contributes to this team, but that was just dumb. We cannot afford to be a dumb team right now. We got too much other things going against us. That probably cost us 3 points. Paul Richardson cost us 3 points today. There was Cassius Marsh who committed the face mask that made this game a lot harder for us, but I'm not even going to kill Cassius. He's a player who has, in my opinion, gone above his limited talent level and produced for us, so I don't want to even get on him. I don't want to get on Darrell Bevel because the offensive line is just so bad right now that it's tough for me to believe he can do much of anything, but I'll say this. In the middle of the third quarter, when we're moving the ball and only have 3 points, is not the time to give Alex Collins his first ever rushing attempts. 1st and 10, 2nd and 11, give it to Alex Collins, no gain, kills a drive. He can get action in a less meaningful spot. That pissed me off. But this is our team, guys. This is a team that right now we cannot count on offense for anything, and there's really no excuse for it to be the case. This is on the front office for thinking that this offensive line was good enough. This is on Pete Carroll for thinking that this offensive line would be good enough. And right now we are wasting one of the best defenses in the league right now. We have given up 19 points through 2 games, and we're 1-1. Every other team in the league would kill to give up 19 points through 2 games. And we're lucky to have 1 win if we're being straight honest. All right. I'm not too mad about this loss at this point. Of course, I'm losing my mind during the game, but this is not a team that, it's not surprising when we lose to this team, but we had a chance there. I mean, and I can put it on Kristen Michael for the fumble. I can put it on Deshaun Shedd for getting beat a few times, Mike Morgan, but at the end of the day, the constant throughout the entire game is Bradley Sowell, and he's the guy who's not going away. That is the one guy who I'm really looking at to give me some reason to believe. All right, this video's gone on way too long, but there was a lot to talk about after this one. I mean, we've seen bad offensive efforts from this team before. We scored 14 points against the Rams 3 years ago in St. Louis. We scored, last year we had a game where the playoff game in Minnesota. I know the weather was bad, but offense was bad. I mean, we've had games where the offense has scored a bunch, but the offense was still bad. But this was the worst. This was the worst offensive game, I think, of the Russell Wilson era. And this time, I don't want to see us just sitting there and saying, oh, this is fine. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. You just got to wait. I don't know if that's the case this year. All right. I'll be making a pregame video next week for the 49ers, who, by the way, don't look that bad this year. Watch out. Please, God, do not lose to the 49ers at home. Please figure out something for next week. But more on that later.